First of all, we can see here our environment. You have here your workflow listed. You can see your workflow you created, and here the credential you created and the executions, you can see it here. The variables mean there is a global variable you can use when between your workflows. And for example, is not unlocked for the self-hosted. But when you go to the cloud one or the paid one, will be you are able to use the global variables. And the data table also is acts like variables, and you can store data from the workflows, and you can share it also and get the data from it. From this button here, you can start your create workflow, or you can create credential, or create a data table also. Here is as a dashboard, and let's see what we can do with the workflows. Let's create one. Click on this button, and this guides you to a new screen or new workspace. For that workspace, you will do your workflow, or you create your workflows. We have here a plus button. When you click on it, there is a little window will open here and let you or ask you to select what you want from the list. So basically here you will find the nodes of n8n, the fundamental nodes, any nodes you can find it here. You can search for any node. For example, we can do HTTP. You can find here the HTTP request node. But the first node you have to put it in the workspace will be the trigger node. The trigger node, the simplest way can be the trigger manually. Here your workflow will start. What is that node means? When you start your workflow, everyone will start from here. This acts as a trigger, as a button for your system. Let's say there is a machine. Every machine has a button to start this and start the work. So this is just working as a button for your workflow. To click on this button, you just click to execute workflow. When you click execute, that means you click on this node and your workflow starts here. And you can link another node starting from this node. Let's add another node. You can by clicking on this plus here, or by just click on this plus here. And let's say, or let's put another node, name it sets or edit field. This field acts as a holder for the data. So can receive the data and send the data also. Let's do this example. And to connect between node and node, we go to this plus, drag like this, click and drag, and connect it to the next node. For each node, you can start it manually from here, and you can deactivate it, deactivate it from this, or activate it. And you can delete it. And you can also, you can use the AI to help you for the node to know some information or help you to create your workflows. And each node, you can copy it and paste it. You can delete it from this one. You can, let's try copy. You can copy it. For this one is not able to copy. The trigger node, the n8n allow you to execute only one or present only one on your workspace. So the copy paste here is not working. If you want to add another start node, is not working also. But there is multiple nodes or starting node or trigger nodes. You can use it. For example, let's see the triggers, what we have. We have trigger manually is just this one, and we have on app event happen to your workflow. So this we can trigger it from this node. And we have the trigger node can regulate it or program it by a time, like schedule node. Let's say 1 minute, 2 minutes. we have this node here. When you do double click here, you will see a configuration for the days or by minutes or by seconds, and let's say 50 seconds, like this. So when you go back to your workflow and you run or execute your workflow, this can do a trigger each 50 seconds. Each 50 seconds, you will see a trigger here. This useful when you have, let's say, every morning you have to send you an email contain a news or contain a reminder for you. So this is works better if you have a scheduled time to do your stuff. We have another trigger node, like on webhook call. This is the webhook call, how it looks like. So basically this will act as a server. This node you can use, for example, select the post for it, and you can see the URL of this webhook node. If you want to start or trigger this node, you can use this URL. You can get this URL. If you click it, you will get a copy, or just click on it, or you can just select it and do copy. And let's try it. Let's deactivate this one. Deactivate this one. Let the webhook. When you execute your workflow, your webhook is already waiting for something happen. To execute this webhook, let's call this node, or let's do a post for this node. If you do here, nothing probably will happen. But if you go to Postman, Postman is very useful to use or to try your HTTP request, your webhooks, to test it and send a data variable, many variable data to it. So for your post or the Postman tool, you can pass here your URL of the webhook and select which method selected. We selected already in the webhook the method post, so you have to follow the similar. And here you can send a data. You can send a data as a parameters by key value. Let's say we need a software or another person or a smartphone application or website or any services or another workflow want to trigger this workflow. So to let this workflow here will start with a webhook, what we will do, we add a webhook first from the add another trigger, yes, and add a webhook tool. So just when you select a webhook, he will give you directly here the link. You can re-enter from it. Double click on the node, you will see the link. Okay, and there is two links actually. There is a test URL and production URL. It's the same URL, but there is another word here added for the test URL. On the test, there is a word test. In the production, there is no word test. You can see that? So it's different URL from one to one. We use this one when you run your workflow from here. When you finish your workflow and you want to make it run 24-hour, for example, on the server, you will do publish, this button here. If you do publish and you do this, your workflow is working on the background and use the production URL. So in this case, in the test mode, when you test your application during the development, you use the test URL, but when you run it, you have to change it. You copy the production URL and post it on your tool. So for this URL, you can see here, you can also change the method. You can use the post one. And for the path, you can change it also. Let's say payment. When you change this word here, the URL also is changed at the end will be a payment. So let's copy the test URL and run or execute our workflow, waiting for something to come. And let's go to Postman and paste here our URL and select the post. Then the data you can send it as a body, for example. And here you can send a data. Let's say a payment or the value, let's say $50. And the name from, let's say Lex. So this is another software, right? So when you click here, send, you can see here this change. Send. You see? That means there is a data, there is a trigger, there is action happen to that webhook. There is someone do a post to that URL of your webhook. And this can be on other website, can be on your computer, from your phone application, everywhere. So this is the link, how the communication between 2 points working. So I do communication between the Postman and n8n node. When you enter to the webhook, you will see the data come. Was nothing here before, but now you can see the data you received from the Postman. And you can see the data as a schema or as a table or as a JSON. The Postman sent all of this, a JSON file, a big JSON object, and contain many data here. And from the data we sent is the body one. You can see the object here or the value here, name it body. For the body, you can see the value we sent is 50 and the name is Lex. And other data here is coming defaultly from the communication way and from the Postman. Probably you can see the URL, probably you can see the kind of the content. The content here is application JSON. That means the payload is a JSON. So let's add another node. And this node will be set to hold a variable or to hold a data. Each node contains the input window and the output window and the parameter window. And you can move this here to here, adjust the sizes. And as you see here, you can click to this little icon, lets you see the previous node. And to go to the next node, without go to the platform itself, you can click on this one. So this moves from node to another node. For set field, let's click on this one and give a name to a field that we want. Let's say just name it as a data. And the value can be a direct data or can come from another node data. So if we say here, or let's name it price, and go to the value here from the body is $50, drag it and drop it here to the value. So now we can see here another JSON object. This JSON object, the meaning of it means the JSON, that means all of this data, or this one is the same, all of this content. Then dot body. So he go to a specific field or a specific JSON inside of this big JSON file. The body is located here. If we do dot query, we'll go here. The target will be query. If we do params, we'll go here. If we do dot headers, we'll go here and point to those data. So he just here say dot body. He points to this object. Then dot value. He points inside of the body one. So he actually, this value meaning we get the value of this value. We have the key and the value. So here we represent the value. And the result to execute this one will be the 50. It's just another way to get the variable value or get the value of the variable value and put it inside the price value, new value we created. And you can also create another field, and let's name it name. For that field, to use also the variable here, we just do a drag and drop. Click on the legs and drag it and put it on the value. Now in this node, you have automatic retrieve data from the previous JSON. If we next time, if we change the value here on the next post method, this will be changed automatic. And also for this one, if we change the name, we'll change the name also here, and we can see it. You can click on execute step that will run what's inside of this node. And when you click on it, the data from here will go to the next output. So we can see here one item, there is one object. Only one item is, that means one output object. And that item is just this one. And we configure it here. If we rename it to a name, like a capital letter, and we say execute, this will change, but the value here is not changed because it's a variable, comes from the other side, from the input data.